Welcome back. Now, the Bombay High Court has issued a set of guidelines for the hearings or orders on workplace sexual harassment cases. This is to prevent the interest of both the victims and the accused in the workplace sexual harassment cases. The court has said that the orders of the workplace abuse cases can't be made public. Only a fully anonymized version of the copy can be made public after getting due permission from the court. Now, the court has also barred naming the involved parties or giving any personally identifiable information such as email IDs or mobile numbers in the order copies. Let me go across to my colleague Sandhya for more on this. Sandhya, what are the details of this? If you could just tell our viewers the exact details of the new guidelines with regard to sexual harassment cases at workplace that the Bombay High Court has now listed.
So, Tanima, the court in its order has clearly said this is to prevent both the parties, this is to protect their identities, and court has said that since there is no set guidelines for these cases, as in the cases of sexual harassment at workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal, POSH Act. As far as these cases are concerned, there is no set guidelines. So this order should be considered and should be taken as working protocol. Now, what exactly this order talks about? This order is all about protecting the identities of the parties involved. So court has clearly said that in every case, the judgment is usually uploaded on the court website. But for these cases, for the cases of sexual harassment at workplaces, the court has said that the orders and the judgments in such matters will not be uploaded on the website of the courts, which as in it will not be made public. If in any case it has to be uploaded, for that a prior approval will be needed. Apart from that, only a fully anonymized version, which means hiding every detail which can reveal the identity of any of the parties, only that version can be uploaded. The orders, the judgments will be delivered only in the private chambers of the judges or in camera. It will not happen in the open courtroom. So this is the pronouncement part. There will be no physical hearing. In fact, I beg your pardon, Tanima, there will be no online hearing in such cases. There will be only physical hearings. Now, talking about the attendance as far as the hearings are concerned, court has made very clear that in these cases, only the parties, the witnesses and their advocates of the parties, only these people can remain present. And as far as court staff is concerned, only the staff which assists the court during hearing, which is stenographers, sahasridar, only these people can remain present in the courtroom during the hearing. Not even the support staff of the court like clerk or peons, they also cannot remain present. Now, in fact, about the information, that is personally identifiable information is concerned, which means email ID, address, phone numbers or any other thing which can identify any of these parties, about that the court has said that even registry, if required, can take these details but cannot retain these details. In every document, the parties have to be addressed as plaintiffs and defendants. This is how they have to be addressed. Now, in fact, court has also said that whether it's the parties involved, whether it's their advocates or the witnesses, and nobody can disclose the details of the case, of the order, judgment, or any of the filing in the matter to media. That disclosure is not allowed. Witnesses will also have to take care of this particular thing, and apart from the oath, they also have to sign the non-disclosure part of the case. And if we talk about the court proceedings, Tanima, court has clearly said that, of course, recording of the cases of the hearings will not be allowed. Even the transcribing of the details of the orders and the proceedings is not allowed. And as I said, court has made it very clear that this is in order to protect the identities of all the parties involved, and any violation of any of these guidelines will be considered contempt of court. Tanima.
Right. Sandhya, thank you so much for joining us on that and explaining the details. I am also joined over the phone line by Mr. Aniket Nikam, criminal lawyer who practices at the Bombay High Court. Mr. Nikam, thank you so much for speaking to us here on Mirror Now. Going by the guidelines which have in fact been given out by the Bombay High Court now, how do you think this is going to actually help both sides, whether it is the person against whom a complaint has been submitted, or whether it is the person, the person who's making that complaint. How are these guidelines to be interpreted in terms of better management? Because these are very sensitive matters where both the parties are working in the same workplace, probably coming across each other on a daily basis. So how exactly do you think that the legal procedure, the guidelines which have been set out now by the High Court, is going to help?
Well, these guidelines have been laid down with an endeavor to anonymize the identities of the parties. You are aware that this act, which is Sexual Harassment of Women at the Workplace Act 2013, as well as the rules of 2013, these are very special statutes in the sense they have been introduced by our law-making agencies for the purpose of protecting women at their workplaces. Now, this order and judgment of Bombay High Court is a landmark ruling because it sensitizes the entire issue by saying that the identities of the parties should not be disclosed, because there have been instances where the identities have been disclosed which has caused further harassment to the concerned parties. Therefore, in order to protect their identities, the High Court has framed these guidelines by virtue of which all the concerned parties will have to follow a particular protocol. And I think going ahead, it is an order that we all must welcome, because it really acts in furtherance of the spirit of the act which is introduced in 2013.
That's right. As you said, that the main idea, of course, is to make sure that nobody's identity, because as we said, that this is a very sensitive matter, that identities are not leaked out to the public, and that the hearings need to be very carefully managed in these cases. What are some of the issues which you, as a lawyer, as a practicing lawyer in the Bombay High Court, would come up with when such incidents are in fact being dealt with, such cases are in fact being heard, in order to sort out those issues that the Bombay High Court actually came out with those guidelines? What prompted these guidelines, in other words, Mr.
See, if you read the act itself, it is meant to redress harassment that women are being subjected to at their workplaces. And therefore, one of the reasons for introducing these guidelines is that because they have to undergo this probably some harassment which causes a trauma, the further details of it when it comes on a public platform would add to that trauma. So in order to avoid that, in order to prevent that, these guidelines have been formed in order to protect their privacy and in order to also ensure that it does not cause further harassment to them when all these details are out in public, on public platforms. So therefore, in order to restrain all these things, these guidelines have been introduced. And the court has also, I have not been able to read the entire order, but what I am told is that the court has also put an embargo in terms of reporting of such matters. And I think that is this is a decision which is very essential, keeping in mind the reason why this act in 2013 was introduced in the first place.
Right, Mr. Nikam there, thank you so much for joining us on this very important topic today. And with that, it's a wrap on the bulletin. You can keep tracking more news and updates on Mirror Now. Also, follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram. Thanks for watching.